this womanist, feminist movement to tell you to get out there and compete with men in education and career attainment and things like that has the thing you should be angry with. Your average looking grandma had your average looking grandfather, and they were happy for 40, 50 years. And so did every other average at best woman before your grandmother's generation. But post baby boomer, they tried to change the rules and try to say a man should judge a woman based upon, and that's not how it works. It is not how it works. So don't be upset with the men for choosing pretty women, because you all want high value men. Think about it. My show's been going on for the better part of a year, and you can probably count on one hand and have some fingers to spare how many women truly say they don't really truly want a man who's making enough to pay all the bills, to pay the majority of the bills, to cover most of it. They don't want their money to have to matter. All right, let's get into it. Ladies, pretty privilege exists. Do you want what it, do you, and let's say you're a 6 to an adjustable 6. You can play in that pretty privilege area, but are you ready to do what comes along with that? Are you ready to have to compete? Are you ready to have to defend your territory, fend off all the women, the other thousands, the hundreds of thousands of women coming after your men on a daily basis? Are you willing to sit back and understand he has options, and it's up to you to make sure that he comes home? See, you've been told that it's his job to put you on a pedestal and look. There will be no other way to really explain how mean and ornery and how difficult and disagreeable and how spicy and sassy so many women are today if they didn't think that eventually somebody would take it. Shout out to BGS when they talk about the divest movement. He says it looks like men have divested before. That's why the birth rate's dropping. So now, ladies, I got a notion. This isn't from me. BGS said this. He's like, ladies, back in the day, when a woman wanted to get a man, she had to court him. She'd send him a pie or send him a meatloaf or something. Ladies, this is the world your mothers, and this is what y'all fought for. It's what you fought for. Because at the end of the day, your sexual marketplace value is what it is. Sounds like a lot of work. Buy a dog and die alone. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. Sounds like a lot of work. This is a modern lazy woman. That's what it is. See, Robbie has been, I'm pinning you up, not that I know you, but I want you to understand. See, women don't have any problem with a man having to go out there to become the top 10%, the best version of himself. And see, look at all the women who are angry with me asking all these questions. Or who are you? Are you a 10 or something and so forth? Women who are really, truly happy don't get angry at the truth. Women who are truly happy don't get angry at the truth. And this woman talks about, this sounds like a lot of work. Well, buy a dog and die alone. Ain't nobody, see, that's the thing. There was a woman on TikTok who got angry that her and her friends went to the club and wasn't nobody checking for them. These millennials, Gen Z and youngers, they ain't got nothing for y'all. They are bottom line. They're like, whatever. So if it sounds like a lot of work, go get a girlfriend. That's where there's compound living, platonic marriage. Oh, and when I break this down tomorrow, when she talked about the fact that she hangs out with her gay male friends to get validation. Understand something. This is not mine. This is something that has been known for a while. But women need attention like fish need water. Women need our validation. And that's why I think it's funny when say women talk about, I don't need no man. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You need our validation, because being validated by men lets a woman know where she ranks. That's why that woman, when she went in there dressed in her best Fashion Nova, her tiara and all this other, she was prom ready and went in there and everybody and what happened? She got no response, so much so that she's like, well, maybe it's the game is on, maybe it's a bunch of dads, maybe there's a time off, maybe this, maybe that. She made up all these reasons. Then her friend came through the door. Her friend that she said was light skinned with all the long pretty hair. And of course she focused on her skin tone, not realizing that that woman was just pretty, because there are some pretty dark skinned women that don't have any problem with pretty privilege. I'm gonna have them on the channel too. So when you see pretty dark skinned women, pretty is pretty. And there's some unattractive light skinned women too. And her friend came in and she got all this attention. And then she's like, well, what happened? How'd you meet your husband? At the bar? And she said her friend was like, I met him out at the bar. Like, duh. See, women with pretty privilege don't tend to realize they have a privilege. They tend to not realize how difficult average women have it. This is why you tend to see you see a pretty woman with average friends, and it's a hate relationship. The pretty girl thinks she's helping her friends, and all they're doing is feeding off the crumbs, but they really can't stand her. Why? Because you should be with an average man. You should have been with an average man a long time ago, instead of thinking because you got your
I'm a PhD.
And because you got, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in student loan debt and an Audi somewhere, but your actual value is what's looking at you in the mirror. Instead of deciding to get with a man who actually matches your S&V, you thought your PhD and your Audi and your BMW and all this other kind of stuff was going to put you on a level with those quote unquote high value men. And they're checking for the women, they're checking for the women that they like. So this is when women start to do this. All high value men have issues, or they're gay. See, when they can't get the high value guys, they make the guys something wrong with it. Instead of saying, you just ain't in their league, sis. But see, men know when they're not in the pretty privileged woman's lane. Here's the question. We're gonna talk about being invisible. Every woman wants a high value man when they really, most women want high value men when they're really honest. Being unpretty is like being invisible. Ooh, hold on. Like I said, high value men have pretty privilege, but hold on. This is gonna hurt. Warning, put your kids up. Warning. If your looks don't matter, you don't matter. But see, men know this. Men know if their pockets don't matter, they don't matter. Men know this. Men know all these things. Are you pretty enough to matter to the kind of men you want? That's the point. Are you pretty enough? Are you fit, feminine, friendly enough? Are you cooperative, submissive enough? Are you woman enough to matter to the kind of men you want? And see, gentlemen, that's why I want you to look at the women's answers. What they'll be talking about is the men they don't want. And see, what's beautiful about this channel is I talk about the men you do want. And the men you want something for who they are. It takes a long time to become a high value man. That's why I say I don't automatically put in musicians, athletes, or entertainers in this group, because due respect, our money comes different ways. A man who fits in this category had to become that. That's why it generally takes a man to be at least around 35 or 40 years old. It's almost impossible to be truly high value under 30. So let's get into it. And let's knock it off. I don't want that. We don't want them. The women are starting to tell the truth, guys. And ladies, the other women are starting to tell the truth. You just go on TikTok, go on YouTube, start searching it out. Women are starting to tell the truth. I was lied to. I was told I was a 10. I don't understand why I can't get that. So when people come tell me to change my tone and be nice and such and so forth, I look at all those people as your enemies, ladies. Because there are people who keep saying, you need to change your tone and this and that and be nice and say this to the women. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. What place are you going to come in? Everybody doesn't come in first place. You did not win homecoming queen. You were not Miss America. Men know our rank. Where do you rank? Are you pretty enough to matter? And pretty is in quotations. Are you pretty enough to matter to the kind of men you want? Let's get into it. And like old Robin said, sounds like a lot of work. Then hey, ladies, Robin is looking for a girlfriend. Y'all go ahead and hit up Robin. She's looking for a girlfriend. She may have a cat. You could have a dog. And y'all could both not die alone together. Robin, everybody. I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. Oh my God. Um, uh, are you pretty enough to kind of men? Saying it.
Hi. Sorry. Let me turn on some light.
Uh huh. You got to turn off the. You have to turn off the TV in the background.
Yes, I did. Hi.
Hello. Let me
How
let
are
me
you?
turn it. I'm okay. How old are you?
I am 34.
All right. So we're talking about pretty privilege. Are you single?
I'm dating.
Single meaning unmarried.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So for everybody who's going in, single simply means unmarried.
Okay.
If you're not married, you're single. Dating.
Okay. Fair.
You any children?
I have one.
Okay. So disagreement issue. What? What's the problem with pretty privilege?
I do think it exists.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't think I would be ready to fight multiple women for it.
Okay. Well, um, how old is your child?
She'll be 12 next month.
Okay. So let me reverse this. Then why should a man become? Then why should a man be competitive for you?
Why should I? Man, that's a good question.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that I bring good qualities.
Mhm.
Um,
So do those other men. Everything you're gonna
you're
say to men, that.
you're right. I'm
Uh-huh.
not going to disagree. You're right.
Right. Hmm.
But I think it just becomes,
But I'm a woman and I'm entitled.
I don't think so much entitled, but I think sometimes it can be degrading, um,
Then get a girlfriend.
having, I'm sorry, say again.
Then get a girlfriend.
I don't want a girlfriend.
Look, man, let's take it away from you.
Okay,
And let's go to the animal kingdom. Okay?
okay.
The males of any species has to fight to reproduce, right? Hold on. True or false?
You're correct.
So every male that wants to have sex with a female just doesn't free access. He has to earn it, right?
Correct.
And in order to keep reproducing, he has to continue to fight, right?
After he already gets her?
Yes, every season, when a woman comes into season, there
Okay,
are
I'm following.
new male challengers to come along, right? This is the
Correct.
Lion King.
Correct.
Disney showed us this. So every
Correct.
season, so, and as long as he can win, he can mate, right?
Correct.
The women don't mate with the men who don't win, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Okay,
He
I'm
loses,
following.
can he mate? If he loses, does he continue to get to mate?
No.
Right. So men have to compete. Women have to
So I
submit.
gotta compete.
No, women have to submit. But see, here's the thing: the lionesses do 90% of the hunting, and they do all the raising of the kids, and the men are out doing what they got to do, and they come home, and you got the gazelle and the antelope and the wildebeest made. And the only time I need to get up is if I need to go slap that water buffalo or fuck with them hyenas. Outside of that,
Correct.
leave me alone and keep them kids over there. And then when you're in the mood, get your aunties and your cub sisters to keep these kids, and we're gonna go over here and have sex for 4 days straight. You ever had sex for 4 days straight?
Not straight now.
Straight. Every
Not straight.
take a 12, 15,
That's a
20 minute
lot.
break. But that's the lion. But see, you
Hmm.
understand that, and what comes along with that. There are more lionesses than lions. So I say all that to say, y'all act like what y'all have to do is so damn difficult, and what we're supposed to do is just expect it.
No, I don't think that is difficult per
Okay.
se, but I do think that at some point, when do you see my value? Like, how long do I have to keep competing and uh
Until you die.
all
Until you
oh my
die.
God, till I die.
Hmm. Yeah. Were your
Okay.
mother and father married?
Yeah,
Hmm. Were your grandparents married?
yeah.
How long were your grandparents married?
They're still married. I mean, they're well in their 80s, so it's been 20
Okay.
plus years.
Okay. Your grandmother still competes for your grandfather every day. Does she know what he
Not from other
likes?
women though.
But she still competes.
With
She knows what.
who?
Uh, well, have you ever sat down and asked your grandmother what it's like to try to keep your grandfather?
Yes, there's been stories of he was a high value man. He was in the community and all that stuff, and she
So
did
she had
tell
to compete
stories.
to keep him.
Not keep because she had him, but there were other women that she would have to, put them in their place if she felt disrespected, stuff like that.
That's
But I
fighting to keep him. Ma'am, okay. The way
okay.
a woman keeps a man is you keep him happy and keep him coming home. So
Okay.
your grandparents are married. Your parents are married. You have a child. Why aren't you married at this point? Because you have the kid already.
Right.
Why not? So you
He
saw
wasn't
the
high
pattern.
valued and I wasn't competing.
Okay, but see, why have the baby?
You're right. I was young and dumb. You're right.
You went to sex ed. You were old enough to know what happens. You
Hmm.
can't keep giving y'all excuses for being young and dumb. You were reckless.
Correct.
So now, do you ever want to get married?
I'm on the fence, but
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Do you want any more children?
No.
Okay. Then, if men marry for legacy, that
You're
means
right.
there's no reason to marry a woman like you, especially since you have a kid. See, what we have to stop doing is if you came from a mother and father who were married and a grandparents who were married, your goal should have been to be like them and to have a man for your lifetime, not be unmarried, unattached, and have to worry about these decisions in your 30s. Changing off the Wi-Fi. I don't know. Sometimes it happens.
Yes. Okay. That's
So,
not me. Okay.
so all things being equal, if you don't want to be married, what does that mean? You're going to be a single woman for the rest of your life.
Yes, but I feel like I won't be alone.
Okay. All right. Well, let's explore that then. Um, how long have you been watching my content?
Months. It's been a while.
At 40, the happiness curve inverts for men and women. Happiness for women, women are the most happy in their 20s, in their 30s, but at 40, it starts to go down this way. For men, it starts to go like this because at our 20s, we're at the bottom of our earning potential. At 40, you don't see many women who are silver foxes and being sought after by everybody. That happens with men. So show me where unmarried women 45 plus are the majority and happy.
Your Wi-Fi was going out. I didn't hear the ending of your
I was saying,
question.
show me where women you don't alone. Man, where do you see middle-aged older women?
Is is it me or is it you? Because you're not clear.
I don't know. It shouldn't be me. I have one. Let's see. Hold on.
Okay. Yes.
All right. So I'm asking a very simple question. You
Okay.
you don't feel like you'll be unmarried. You'll be single, but you won't be alone. So that means you'll have a man.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Happiness for men and women at 40 flips. Where do you see where women over 45 years old, where they're single, happy, single, and they're happy? What do you see that is the majority of women over 40?
I have seen quite a few. Quite a few.
The majority, not handfuls, not anecdotal.
Then maybe I haven't. I mean,
Because
but
it's not
I
the
have.
norm. It's not the norm, man. Right now, you're still young enough to where this makes sense to you. But I want to age you going to be like.
You're
What do
go.
you think?
I think. What did
Oh
you
my
ask me?
goodness.
Your thing is going in and out.
I don't know why it keeps going in and out, in and out. All right. I don't know what's going on because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bars here. So
You're clear now. You're clear now.
1, 2, 3, 4 bars. I said, where do you go and you see where there are women who are happy? And I said, I want to age you up 20 years, and I want to see where you see a bunch of seniors who are senior women who are dating and happy.
I've seen in the 40s now. I can't speak anything higher than that. No, I haven't. They're married or widowed.
Because, man,
It doesn't exist.
no.
Okay.
I mean, if it did, because there are plenty of older women,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not happy.
Okay.
So you're saying you don't want to have to compete. Okay, great. That's a choice you've made. You've
I
chosen
don't
to be
mind competing. My thing would just be well, I mean, you answered it. When does it end? But you answered it. It
when does a
never
man
does.
when does a man have to stop being a man for a woman? When does a man get to put his masculinity down? See, I don't know
But
why
does
you
he
women
always
feel
have to be masculine at all times if he
you
has
want a
me?
man that's not? You want a man that puts his masculinity down?
I don't think masculine. I just don't think competing would have to be forever. I want you to always be a man, yes. But I just don't. I just don't. I guess I don't understand. What are you competing for once you have me?
So isn't this what women tend to complain about? Once a man has you, then he gets complacent.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Isn't this what women tend to complain about? Once he got me, he don't do nothing anymore. He don't take me out. He don't do this. He don't do that. That's
That
what
is
women
true.
complain about.
That is true.
My question is, why are you modern women so lazy?
So
I mean,
lazy.
you already have a child,
Mm-hmm.
so it's already difficult enough to date because because you don't have a kid. Your parents are married. Your grandparents are married. And you're openly choosing to say, well, I want to go through the rest of life by myself because sounds like having a man is too hard.
No, where did you get that? I said it was too hard.
Well, you don't want to compete. You said you don't want to compete, keep competing. And I don't understand why that's such a problem.
Maybe that is something I need to think about more. I just know that I understand that I have to compete in the dating when I'm dating you.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
have
there
to
should be a
stand
point in
out.
time when I can quit and just relax.
I don't think you ever relax, but I also don't think that if I have to keep worrying about other women, then I feel like we have another problem.
Well, seems though women are the ones that walking out of relationships 80+% of the time. We're not the problem.
Okay. Ever?
Again, 80 to 90% of the divorces filed in the black community are filed by black women. You divorce twice as much as you marry. So we
Okay.
were the most married group of people prior to 1965. But I think this problem fits squarely in your generation, in my generation, as to why you decided to have a child before you had the bonds of marriage. You were told not to do that, but you
You're
chose
right.
to.
Mm-hmm.
So you permanently lowered your sexual marketplace value. And I will just be honest, it is incredible to men to think that a woman who's a single mother today can walk around like she's got leverage. Because mothers in my generation and previous, they were thrilled, ecstatic, grateful if a man would consider marrying them. Because you were not considered to be wife material once you had a child. And today it's like single mothers feel like I'm a package deal and you should still do more. Now that's on your side right there. That's not on my
No,
side. That's
yes,
on your
that was
side.
me. That was me. That was me.
So the question becomes, fine. Did you go to college?
I did.
Uh, sorry. Are you in the top 9% of earning black women?
I wouldn't say top
That means
nine, no.
75,000. Okay,
Um,
$75,000 or more.
not quite there now.
Okay, then what state do you live in?
I'm in Maryland, Baltimore.
Okay, so practically, ma'am, you ain't gonna have enough money to retire on.
Okay.
Marriage is not a. See, this is what I need women like you to understand. The way you're speaking is though marriage is an option. If you don't make enough, I gave the example of a woman making 20,000, of a person making $50,000 from age 25 to 65. Okay, and then getting a cost of living adjustment every year of 3%, and in that 40 years they're saving $200 a month. That person would still have almost a $790,000 shortfall in their retirement. Meaning between 65 and 85, you're gonna need $2.9 million to live on. Unless you're making two plus incomes, you have a child and you can't do this. How do you plan on how's it supposed to work without a man? The numbers don't
So
work.
I need a man to survive. Okay.
Who's gonna take, okay, with one income and no social security to rely on, whatever you save is what you'll have to live on. Okay?
I'm following.
If you don't have $2.9 million, and let's be honest, most people don't have that. You don't
Correct.
even have half of that. Then who's supposed to take care of you? Where's the money going to come from?
I would think that, I mean, maybe not half of that I could get to, but by myself. But you're
Okay?
right, the other half, no.
So that means what?
I need a man.
Well, see, that's what you ladies don't seem to get. Because if a man can't pay, we don't have government shelters in places.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to see more homeless women because the government cannot afford this. So talking about competing and not and this and that, I'm like, do you not understand that this ain't really an option for you? You need a man. That's why your grandmother and grandfather, they got somebody in the house, somebody to rely on, and you're going out here alone and not making the income of 2+ people. You have a child. So that example I gave was with a single person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever really thought about life this way?
No. No, my mother got divorced, but she makes, I come from a good stock of family, so I just figured that I seen my mother do it, divorced, that it
What
can
does your
be
mother do for a
done.
living? What does your mother do for a living?
She's been an administrative, HR,
Okay.
has a PhD. She did it all.
I'm a PhD.
But that ain't, but your mom, okay. But the problem is, young lady, and this is where the women are failing y'all, telling you you could be out here with a kid and making decent money, that having a man is something that's an option to where you can decide to say, I don't want to compete. Okay. Where you really should be thinking, if I were lucky enough to find a man who I had to compete for, thank you, Jesus, because that means I will be able to put a roof over my head, food in my stomach, the medicine I need, and the quality of life until I die. Thank you. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure I keep that man here because I am blessed to have that. That's why all them other women want him, because they ain't going to even have half of what I have. So tell me why it's not worth trying to compete for again? If you're not going to even have half of it?
You broke it down in a
See,
different way. It's something to think about.
and well, and the thing to think about is you ladies treat men like we're optional and like we're nothing to be like a man is nothing to have to work for. So I'm gonna
I've
ask you
done
a
that.
question. Do you feel like a man should have to work for you?
To some degree, yeah.
Do you if you were a product on the shelf next to other women, would you be average price? If you're a restaurant next to all other women out here, where are you at on the menu? Dollar sign, $2 signs, $3 signs, $4 signs, or $5 sign?
Humbly, I'll say 3.
So that puts you right about in the Outback range, Applebee's.
Okay, no, give me 4. What's 4? Can I get a
That
Ruth
puts you
Chris?
that puts you around Papado, Ruth Chris area. It's expensive.
Okay.
People work an entire year to go to Ruth Chris on their anniversary, right? If they're lucky.
I'm,
I used to work at
I'm sure.
Papado. So you expect a man to have to pay Ruth Chris prices for you, and you don't want to have to compete to keep Ruth Chris lifestyle. Ain't that something?
Okay, fair enough. It's fair.
So and how we got here is the whole notion of pretty privilege. As an attractive woman, you've been able to live and negotiate on your looks. That ends.
Yeah.
That ends. Ask Halle Berry. Most beautiful woman 3 times in a row. She fucked around and had to have a baby by an underwear model and complain about child support. I think y'all need to start, in particular in our community, Black women really need a come to Jesus movement, a moment, and you really need to reframe how you look at your men. Because no other group of women looks at their men as not, I don't want to have to compete. Because I'm going to say this and we can end it.
Okay.
Do you, I don't know if you've ever been around other groups of women, but I don't ever really hear other groups of women saying, I don't want to have to work to compete to keep my man. I see Becky and Marisol and Mylene getting up in the morning running, and it's cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the gym?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You go to the gym? All right.
Yeah.
Be honest. Is the gym majority sisters? Can't be. 80% overweight.
Okay. Now,
So
it's 50-50 where I am, but
okay. But the point is, women in our community as single women, 80% are overweight. And 80% of that number is obese. That's before marriage and kids and everything else. We don't even know. But the point is, women of a group tell men what they think they deserve by their looks and their attitude. So we can't be surprised where men are basically are saying that they're asking you ladies what you bring to the table. And you can't be surprised that Black men, especially the higher value Black men, y'all tend to get mad when they ain't with y'all. She's cutting out again. This is a good conversation though. I think it's something that as a group that we really have to address. I'm gonna go ahead and let her bounce out because her stuff froze. But yeah, I don't get why ladies don't think they should have to compete. I don't get why women don't feel like they should have to compete, but men should have to compete. And the truth of the matter is, especially in the black community, this is where it really becomes a problem because the women want the high value black men, and they are frustrated and upset that in their mind, a large percentage of high value black men date non-black women. But you rarely hear them ask the question, why? Why? Why are these brothers dating these women? Especially uh, if you have pretty privilege. Let me see if we can get this on, folks. Man, do. I'm gonna have to check this. So that was good. Y'all have been I think it's crazy that some of our women have been marketed out of men. Yeah, you don't need your man. Oh, I don't know who that is, so I can't pull you up. D-E-I. What the heck? There's there's an internet problem over here, man. Oh, I see. Uh, request. I'll do that. That was pretty good. I'm good with that.